Lower Silesia, April 1945. The air is thick with the promise of thunder and the scent of oil leaking from battered locomotives. As Soviet tanks rumble ever closer to the crumbling Third Reich, a single Nazi train, camouflaged and heavily guarded, sits ready near the city of Breslau, now Wrocław, Poland. This iron serpent, covered in tarpaulins and camouflage, is whispered to bear a fortune. Gold bars, priceless paintings, crates of looted jewels, maybe even long-lost treasures from across Europe. But official records are vanishing as quickly as high brass officers, and the residents of nearby Volbjik can only guess what power hides in the deepening dusk. The train's loading is a frenetic theater. Wehrmacht engineers whisper in code beneath hissed orders. A convoy of trucks, registration plates hastily scratched, arrives long past midnight. Soldiers sweat in heavy coats despite the spring air, watching locals with wary gunmetal eyes. Some claim to see ornate chests carried with unnatural caution, others swear the boxes are booby-trapped, wired with explosives. In the haze, superstitions and suspicions blur into rumor. Townspeople are told that those who approach without orders will be shot. Inside the forest, a patchwork of tunnels sprawls beneath Ksayaz Castle. Laborers, many forced, carve deeper into the earth. Polish villagers are pressed into silence. The ground vibrates with the energy of desperate men and the engine's low growl. The German officers Gauss, Dietrich, names forever entwined with local legend, seem haunted themselves, as if what they bury is more burden than bounty. As dawn edges over the horizon, the nightmare intensifies. A rumble, a clang, guttural shouts. The armored train slips onto the tracks, steam billowing, disappearing into the trees. Some villagers claim the tracks bend, the train vanishing at a hidden junction near a sealed tunnel mouth. Others hear distant detonations, explosives sealing the entrance, forever locking away the wealth and secrets of a doomed empire. By nightfall, the only evidence is fresh earth and the smell of spent cordite. The following days are chaos. Red army columns pour into Breslau. German officers melt into the civilian population or flee. The tunnels are mapped, wires cut, entrances bricked over. Nobody, liberators or looters, find the treasure. Whispers of the gold train morph from secrecy to myth in bars, bunkers, and beneath peeling wallpaper. The legend is born, forged in the collision of fear, greed, and loss. Its echo will haunt generations to come. September 1946, Volbjik. The war is over, but the scars linger, burned fields, bullet-pocked walls, new authority in Soviet uniforms. For 13-year-old Marek Zielinski, life is divided between scavenging for food and listening for stories grown-ups think he can't hear. Along the edge of the Ksayaz forest, he and his friends discover a collapsed vent, its metal grill twisted, scorched, choked with dust. Inside, something catches Marek's a sliver of brittle paper stamped with the Nazi eagle and encrypted German text. The town is gripped by rumors. A missing train, tunnels dynamited shut by retreating Germans, villagers who knew too much never seen again. Some speak of a curse, a series of disappearances among ex-laborers and Red Army sappers who dared to explore the cavernous slopes. At night, drunk elders trade tales of gold and ghosts in the smoky glow of the only bar that still stands. Officials dismiss the legend as paranoia. Yet Soviet officers quietly post guards around crumbling adits, and unexplained accidents claim the careless. Marek's discovery snowballs. Older boys, eager for adventure, break into the ruins at dusk. They return, silent and white-faced, clutching a tangled piece of rope and a rusted dog tag. Marek's mother warns him not to ask questions. The air is thick with the scent of fear and old secrets. Their apartment trembles with each passing military train, every echo a reminder that not all in the tunnels was ever meant to see daylight again. The legend feeds itself. Every missing person, every strange noise in the fog, every family that vanishes in the night. Are they victims of Soviet paranoia or guardians of buried riches? The town becomes a mosaic of half-truths, official denials, and coded confessions. Merrick sketches maps of the woods behind his schoolbook covers, tracing routes to hidden recesses he dreams of exploring, haunted by the possibility that gold or something worse sleeps beneath the moss and mud, unreachable and undying. Summer 1970. Poland is a very different country. Yet near Wałbrzych, the myth of the Nazi gold train has grown only stronger, nourished by rumor, hidden documents, and the insatiable hunger for fortune. Bulldozers and men with shovels descend on the slopes beneath Ksayaz Castle, digging up earth that yields little more than twisted steel and spent ammunition. The local government oscillates between rolling its eyes and quietly encouraging the frenzy. Newspapers hint at breakthroughs, and Warsaw's bureaucrats issue permits, then revoke them with little explanation. Among the seekers, Zofia Kowalska stands out, not for greed, but for her obsession with the truth. As a young archaeologist, she sees the hunt not as a chase for gold, but for answers. She pores over declassified Soviet files and half-burnt Wehrmacht ledgers in dim archives, her hands stained with dust and ink. Each lead is more confusing than the last. Records contradict, maps don't align, and local elders' memories spin in circles. Tensions flare as treasure hunters clash with skeptical villagers and secretive officials. In the tavern at night, exhausted diggers swap stories of ghostly lights and thudding sounds for below ground. A man claims he unearthed a gold cross before the earth, swallowed it back. Zofia faces her own doubts. Was there ever a train? Or is the real commodity the hope for something miraculous buried in tragedy? By autumn, Zofia's team uncovers a collapsed shaft filled with warped timbers and scrap. A single, badly corroded Nazi helmet becomes proof enough for some. The legend won't die. It only shapeshifts, drawing in a new generation fueled by Cold War anxieties. Beneath the weight of whispers and wishes, the Silesian hillside remains stubborn, clutching its secret. Spring 2015. Wałbrzych is no longer a secret of borderland, but a city alive with media spectacle. International attention descends as two amateur treasure hunters, a Pole and a German, claim, backed by ground-penetrating radar evidence, that they have finally found the legendary Nazi gold train. Their report electrifies Poland and beyond. Television vans choke the narrow streets. Glossy magazines tout imminent discovery, and university geologists are pressed into public service as skeptical oracles. Local government scrambles for authority. Interviews, press releases, an emergency session of the city council. We must proceed responsibly for the sake of Poland's heritage, intones the mayor, bald head gleaming under flashbulbs. Survey teams in orange vests rope off the wooded slopes above Railway Kilometer 65, while entrepreneurs open Golden Express cafes and souvenir stands just out of camera shot. The air smells of hot dogs, rain-soaked earth, and anticipation. For retired miner Andrei Nowak, the news is déjà vu. He remembers failed digs for Nazi gold in every decade since the war. He sits in a faded armchair, recounting to a young podcaster tales of explosions and secret police, of men who vanished after asking too many questions. Andrei's voice is thin but proud. Wałbrzych's real treasure, he believes, is survival. Yet even he scans the newly churned soil with a hopeful eye. Excavators arrive, digging at dawn to avoid the worst of the media scrum. Their buckets bite through soil packed for 70 years, exposing broken pipes, crumpled beer cans, and corroded rails. Rumor flares, collapses, and flares again. Each false alarm only deepens the mystery. Perhaps this time the ground will surrender its secret. Scientists release reports. The radar showed anomalies, but the equipment is limited, the readings inconclusive. Still, cameras keep rolling. By midsummer, the world's excitement fades, but in Wałbrzych, now rich in legends and tourist trade, the myth is more potent than ever. For the city, the gold train is not just a hunt for lost fortune, but a perpetual echo of the war's shadow. A reminder that some wounds remain open, some secrets undisturbed, and that hope, however irrational, can shape destinies as surely as history. Late autumn 2015. As the search for the Nazi gold train grinds on, the atmosphere in Wałbrzych turns from festive to fraught. Journalists who once told jokes over campfires now whisper about threats. Strange accidents plague the dig. An engineer breaks his leg after a mysterious collapse. A city official, celebrated for championing the project, is suddenly dismissed amid a corruption probe. The locals murmur, half serious, of a curse, that any who seek the gold will pay a price. In a cramped office, investigative reporter Marta Durridge sifts through dusty stacks of municipal records. Lists of disappearances in the 1940s, hospital admissions of laborers with unexplained injuries, secret police files from the communist era. Each page deepens the gloom. Strikingly, both Nazis and Soviets reportedly sealed sections of the tunnels, sacrificing their own men in the name of secrecy. Fear, not gold, has always guarded these hills. Marta's own investigation is shadowed by obstacles. Her phone receives cryptic late-night calls. Heavy breathing, static, a single word, leave. A local historian warns her, some doors should not be opened. Still, driven by a sense of justice, she persists, interviewing witnesses who recall forbidden pasts, men with numbers tattooed on their arms, women whose fathers never came home. As winter darkens, so does the mood. Mud clings to boots. Workers leave the site. Marta stands alone at the sealed tunnel mouth as snow falls in huge, indifferent flakes. She senses the weight of all those who have pursued or protected the missing treasure, sometimes at the cost of their minds or lives. She records a final thought. The real curse is not gold, but the silence and suspicion bequeathed by war. Spring, 2025. In the gentle green of the Silesian woods, school children chase each other over mossy stones that once marked wartime boundaries. The legend of the Nazi gold train has become both cautionary tale and source of local pride. Souvenir stands have faded away, but tours remain busy, and the story is etched in guides, murals, and internet videos. For the new generation, the old fear is replaced by curiosity. Elderly villagers gather in cafes, sharing coffee and stories, debating which version of the legend is truest. Every year, amateur historians and YouTubers arrive, some seeking evidence, others content to film shadows and listen for the echo of shovels in empty earth. The memory of loss persists, families whose ancestors never came home, tunnels and mines left sealed forever, lives spent searching or hiding from what might lie beneath. Local history teacher Anna Pavlak leads her students through the woods, encouraging them to ask questions, to respect what cannot be answered. As the sun sets, Anna sits on a fallen log and reads aloud from an old diary, Carl Vogel's, about the final days of the war. She asks her students not what the gold train means, but what stories they will leave behind themselves. In the final tally, the Nazi gold train remains unfound, perhaps a gilded ghost, perhaps just myth. But for Wałbrzych, for Poland, for all touched by war and longing, its legacy is indelible. The truth may sleep in silence, yet the questions and hope it inspired will endure wherever shadows gather and memory lingers. Subscribe to our channel for more legendary mysteries and untold histories. Like, comment, and tell us what secrets you would dig up if you could, because in the next episode, we'll uncover another thrilling chapter in Europe's secret past.